pleasure and a great thrill to be back here in the Big Apple to talk about our event on April 9th. We're looking forward to a spectacular fight between Manny Pacquiao and Tim Bradley at the MGM Grand Arena on April 9th in Las Vegas. And we know how important it is for us to come to New York to talk about our event, the fight, the undercard, everything connected with the event, because the fight fans in this area are second to none in the world. It's not by accident that Madison Square Garden has put on some of the biggest fights of the 50 years that I've been in boxing, and Madison Square Garden continues to put on major events. The end of February, you'll have one of our fights with Terence Crawford and Lundy and Felix Verdeo here in this very room. And we hope to be back in New York a number of times during 2016. It's really a home for us. And so is Las Vegas, and many of the big events, particularly pay-per-view events, are held in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand Arena, and we're very pleased to be back there for this event, which we'll be talking about today. None of this would be possible without the support of the Premium Boxing Network, the premium network for boxing, HBO, which has been in the corner of these two fighters for many, many years. And it's a pleasure to introduce to you the new head of sports at HBO, its Executive Vice President, Peter Nelson. Peter.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you to all the media for being here. It's great. This is going to be a spectacular fight. We couldn't be more happy to have this fight live on HBO pay-per-view with a stacked undercard. This is going to be a tremendous show, and we're really pleased to have this fight come together. Manny Pacquiao with his historic legacy, and Tim Bradley, who over time has been crafting his, clashing in a fight that will determine in many ways the outcome and the legacies of these two fighters. I want to thank Top Rank for putting together a spectacular event. Bob Arum, I mentioned this in LA, I'll mention it here as well. His 50th year in boxing this year, and a tremendous achievement. And I want to thank the Garden for hosting this great event and their commitment to the sport. It's great working with you as always. We look forward to a spectacular fight live on HBO pay-per-view, April the 9th. Look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you.
This event will be co-promoted by Top Rank and MP Promotions. They have MP Promotions has been our co-promoter for many events involving Manny Pacquiao, and we're very proud to have them on board for this event. Now, before we start talking about the main event and introduce the various personalities, I'd like to talk a little bit about the undercard, because it's very important in the sport of boxing that we continuously try to bring to the fore new fighters, fighters who attract the attention of the public. For example, on February 27th, we'll have Terence Crawford, a great, great young fighter, and Felix Verdeo, featured in co-main events here in this building. Those are two men to watch in the future as being big stars in boxing. But on this card, this undercard, which I call the Donald Trump undercard because it features in each fight a Hispanic fighter who even Mr. Trump wouldn't dare deport. And I dedicate to the 11 million people who live among us who are undocumented, but do a lot of work, raise families, and in general comport themselves so well. Those people really need a pathway to legal residence in this country. And I think that undercard will symbolize that effort. Jose Ramirez, who was a member of the U.S. Olympic boxing team in the last Olympics, fights out of Fresno, California, the Central Valley of California, which produces so much of the food that we eat in this country. Jose has been doing crowds. Tim was in his last fight, over 13,000 people for an 8-round fight. He's a future superstar. Oscar Valdez, two-time Mexican Olympian, #1 rated featherweight in the world, will fight the former champion Evgeny Gradovic on the card. And finally, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, the #1 rated super middleweight in the world, will challenge the long-time super middleweight champion Arthur Abraham of Germany on the card. So it's a terrific, terrific undercard, and these two fighters, Manny Pacquiao and Tim Bradley, deserve a great undercard because they're great fighters, and this will be a terrific, terrific event on April 9th. So now let me introduce the members of Tim Bradley's camp. First, his father, Ray Bradley. Sitting in the audience, his manager, Monica Bradley. And of course, his head trainer, who you'll hear from in a few minutes, Teddy Atlas. And Team Pacquiao, want to introduce our favorite advisor and the man who gets things done on Manny's behalf, Michael Kahn. And Freddie Roach, who we'll hear from in a few minutes. Now, anybody who knows anything about boxing and follows boxing knows that what they saw last November when Tim fought against Brandon Rios, they saw a new and improved version of Tim Bradley. Not that he wasn't a great fighter before, but they saw an even better fighter November 7th. And a lot of that is attributable to what he learned from Teddy Atlas. Teddy is an encyclopedia on boxing. He knows the sport like few other people, and as he demonstrated on November 7th with Tim, he has an ability to teach the sport. So please welcome the head trainer for Tim Bradley, Teddy Atlas.
Some of you guys might have been listening while we were in Los Angeles, but the first thing, I hope it's not a bad sign, Peter Nelson, who's I think is the right guy for the job, the new head of HBO, he was sitting on our side in Los Angeles. I hope this isn't bad that he's on this side now. I hope that's not that's, right Pete? I hope that's not a bad sign. Yeah, and Well, it's a great turnout. Last time in Los Angeles, I made some parallels to the Super Bowl, because obviously that's in our near future here in the United States. And both these fighters have been in their share of Super Bowls. And that's what they do. They get to Super Bowls. And now maybe it's fitting if I use a different analogy to talk about the election, especially since Bob touched on it just a little bit. If we did talk about and use some thoughts about the election that's coming up, election for Manny and of course the election in this country, you would think that this is the final debate. And then it's all a matter of living up to your campaign promises. Well, I'm not a politician, but it would be easy, I think, to believe me that both these fighters have always lived up, unlike some politicians, have always lived up to their campaign promises, always. They get in the ring, they bring talent, they bring heart, and they bring the ability to win at the highest level. So obviously on April 9th, you can be sure, whichever side that you're gonna go and flip your ballot for, you can be sure that both those sides will be doing the same thing that they've done their entire lives in boxing. And part of the power, part of the strength, if there is such a thing as a good politician, and we might have one here, part of the strength is that you care about other people. Part of Pacquiao's strength, I never underestimate that he brings more than quick twitch fibers, you know, explosiveness, quick hands, power, quick feet. But he brings the strength because he's fighting for his people in the Philippines. And there's a great strength to that. There really is. When you fight for something more than yourself, there's a power to that. And Timothy is not a politician, but he brings that same strength. He brings the strength. Manny brings it to go forward and fight in a different arena, maybe after this fight, for the good people of the Philippines. Timmy has always cared about, obviously, fighting and serving his family and the people in this country. And the way that he's done it, I think is the best way and the most powerful way you can do something in life. He's lived his life as a champion person, and he's fought as a champion fighter every time he's gotten in the ring. So Manny will go forward, and you will get a chance to say goodbye to a guy who's been one of the best fighters of the last 10 years. He will go forward, he will fight in a different arena for his good people of the Philippines. And Timothy will continue fighting for his family and for the good people of this country in setting an example of how to live as a champion and how to win as a champion. Nobody is going to be disappointed when they come the 9th, because these two men have never disappointed anybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Teddy. Well said. And now it's an honor for me to bring to the microphone Manny's trainer. He's a man beloved by people in boxing. He has been Trainer of the Year, selected by the boxing writers for numerous years. He certainly has brought credibility to the sport of boxing. He's become an icon in the sport, and he's somebody that earns and has the trust of his fighters, particularly a fighter like Manny Pacquiao. So please welcome Manny's trainer, Freddie Roach.
Thanks, Bob. It's been a great ride with Manny. I'm a little bit sad that this is going to be his last fight, but we've had a great 15 years together, and Again, I don't think most marriages last that long. I mean, they've been together for a long time, and he's hard worker. He'll be in great shape for this fight. We know we're going up against a good fighter. Timothy is a great fighter. He's got a very, very good new trainer on board. So I like the competition, and it's going to be a great fight. I wish everyone luck, and we'll see you at the fight. Thanks.
Tim Bradley epitomizes what is great about the sport of boxing. He is somebody that has graced this sport for many years. He always gives more than 100% in the ring. He conducts himself so well outside the ring as well as in the ring. If you want to draw up a perfect athlete for the sport of boxing, you would go no further than Tim Bradley. He's been a 5-time world champion, and he always participates in exciting fights. He's a great family man. He's a credit to us in the sport of boxing. We see so many great young men, but we see other athletes in the sport who are not so great, like any sport. But we know that we have Tim Bradley in this sport. We're doing the right thing. So please welcome the welterweight champion of the world, Timothy Bradley.
First of all, I want to give an honor and praise to God for allowing me to be here today. Also want to thank my wife. Thank you, Monica, for always being supportive and helped me, with this journey. I want to thank my parents, Mom, Pops. Thank you very much for always being supportive and loving me the way you guys do. I want to thank my team, Team Bradley. I want to thank Teddy. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you for being here. Thanks for coming back for me. Thank you. I also want to give a shout out to Elaine, and I also want to give a shout out to Teddy's daughter as well, Nicole. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone out there. Hello. I want to thank all of you for coming. I want to thank HBO. I want to thank Top Rank once again. I want to thank Pacquiao, Nim for and his team for choosing me. And that goes to show you what type of fighter Pacquiao is, what type of man he is. He could have picked anybody else, but Pacquiao always picks a challenge. He knows it's going to be a challenge. April 9th, it's all that matters to me right now. April 9th, nothing else matters. I'm going to be ready. Teddy and I and the team going to go to the lab, and we come out, we're going to be a smart monster April 9th. And it's only going to get better from here. I feel that now I have an identity as a fighter. I know what I'm about. And tune in April 9th. Don't miss it. Thank you guys for coming.
First, good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank God for giving us a wonderful day and giving us strength. I want to thank HBO for being there, always supporting us, and Top Rank Promotion. I want to thank my team, especially the head coach, Freddie Roach, Michael Cons, and to Team Pacquiao, of course, my wife is here. And thank you to all the support of the fans, the media and press. Thank you for always supporting us in boxing, not only me, but all the boxers. You always promote boxing in this country, not only this country, but all over the world. You helping us a lot, and it's sad to say that this is my last fight with the Team Bradley. And sad to say that after this, I'm going to retire and hang up my gloves and focus to my another big responsibility in life to help the people. And I also remember, I remember when I start boxing, I entered into boxing because I want to help my family, my mother. That's how I know boxing. Before that, I don't know boxing, but I entered to boxing because I want to help them. And now I end my boxing career in helping people, helping the Filipino people. So it's good, and I'm so blessed by God that my career into in a good way. Not like other fighter that in their career in a bad way, in the right way, not right way. So I'm so thankful and blessed by God for everything that He had given me. And I never expect and never dream, beyond of my imagination what I have accomplished in boxing, what I have done in boxing, 8 different weight division, and I never think that before. What I think is before is to fight, to earn money, to help my family, to help my mother, and to be a champion in our country. But God has a purpose. He raised me from nothing into something for a purpose, and that purpose is not for my own purpose, but His purpose. And also, good thing it's happening to me that I know about God, and I know I have relationship with the Lord. And I'm so thankful to all of you that you inspire me every day in life. You inspire everything. That every time that there's a criticism for me, and that's how I learn how to correct myself, and how that I learn how to change the way this, and how to change into the right path. So thank you to all of you, and I hope and invite you to watch my last fight on April 9 against Timothy Bradley in MGM Las Vegas, and don't miss it, because this is my last fight, and you never see the fight again, my fight again. So thank you, and God bless you all. Have a nice day.
For the event will go on sale tomorrow at Ticketmaster and at the MGM box office. Tickets are priced at $1,200, $800, $600, $400, $250, and $150. And I'd like to send this message out to my friends on Wall Street that before Bernie Sanders breaks you up, and before you get taxed at 90%, you might as well use your money to buy tickets to this fight. Come out to Las Vegas. The weather will be great. We'll have a great weekend. As many people from Wall Street as possible should come April 9th to Las Vegas to enjoy the event. And believe me, if this event turns out, in fact, to be Manny's retirement, the last hurrah for Manny, it may very well be the last hurrah for you all. And you might as well come out April 9th to Las Vegas and enjoy. Remember, we're going to have a great time and a great event.
He's got to stay tuned.
All right. Thank you all for coming, and I want to thank our top-ranked knockouts. These girls doing this for the first time. When we first started, the girls were young enough to be my daughters. Now they're young enough to be my granddaughters. And if I stay around for a few more years, they'll be my great-granddaughters. Thank you all for coming.
Oh! Did, now. I didn't know he was going to do that. Sushi.
Where's that? Right here, Brad. Right here.
There's the man in the red baseball cap, guys. Right in the middle. Chin up, Manny, chin up. Straight back to the top. Get down the punch. Hey, here, guys.